Holy crap, it is only 5 days left until competition. Now the nerves are starting to slightly kick in. Not too bad, but I start to realize that the competition is way closer than I thought. Today is actually gonna be the final strength workout that I will do before competition. So as I'm recording, it is Monday. It is Monday today. I will do a split between push and pull, both exercises today, which is gonna be pretty fun. A bit different. I haven't done a split workout ever, I think, since I started with the vlogs. That's the plan for today. Then tomorrow is gonna be a full rest day for me to recover. And on Wednesday I will do a freestyle session. But the rest of the team is already, or I think they're leaving tomorrow actually for Germany. That's where the competition is gonna be. So most likely I will train alone on Wednesday, which means that it's gonna be hard to record that. And therefore I'm just gonna do a solo session, land my shit, probably post some stories on Instagram, but just get my shit done and move on. Then on Thursday, that's the day I'm leaving with leaving to Germany with the airplane. There's also gonna be 2 walking sessions. After today's workout, I will take a 30-minute walk. Instead of running, just do a walk. And then on Wednesday as well, after my freestyle session, that would be a walk. So that's sort of the training structure now on until comp. But as I mentioned, today will be a split. So do both planche and front lever. It's gonna be mainly connection things. I am probably gonna do planche press, but not planche press with resistance bands. And I am gonna do one on front lever and front lever pull-ups. Mostly these things that I will guaranteedly do in competition. And doing just 5 planche presses with resistance band is gonna be beneficial for my, normal planche press, but doing just 5 reps, it's more building strength and connection and not necessarily too beneficial for this specific competition. It's too short with time. Therefore I'm gonna switch that one up and only do, like I said, 1-arm holds or one arm handstand and a full planche press, a front lever pull up as well. Pretty chill workout, to be honest. Not gonna push it too much. I mentioned this before, but it's statics. You always know that you got them in competition. Of course, you could have a really bad day and feel a bit weak, but it's not gonna be like if I have a front lever. Normally, I'm gonna have literally the worst day. Probably been sick for a long time in order for me to not be able to perform a front lever. Then of course the harder the skills get, the more good form you need to have, or the daily form needs to be pretty good for you to perform them. But everything I do in competition I feel pretty comfortable with doing. Otherwise I wouldn't risk it. And therefore with statics, for me, if I were to, let's say, skip this workout, it wouldn't be, it wouldn't change anything too much. I could do it if I want, but I feel like I always enjoy training as well. So I'm gonna do a workout, get my sets in, even though it's not necessarily gonna be life-changing or change the results on the competition. I told you we're gonna do a split of both push and pull. And I'm thinking let's also do a split when it comes to resistance bands and not. So I will start off with 2 exercises. First one is pull and the other one is push. And they are not going to be with bands, so without it. First up, front lever pull-ups. I'm thinking I'll do 2 pull-ups. Start from 0 momentum, do a pull-up, and then just do 3-second hold. That's going to be 1 set, and I would do 3 sets of those. Then it's time to move on to the planche exercise, and that one will be planche press to 1-arm handstand. That one we've done before. So those will be the 2 ones. Completely without band. And this one we haven't done before without band, so it will be interesting to see. Pretty damn solid. I didn't have time to wait for a drop, so I was like, fuck it. But good start. I feel really strong in the pulling session. Then if we were to do a top hold at that point, it would be a bit more harsh. But in general, the pull strength feels really good. Let's do 2 more sets. Let's do 1 more of these bad boys. This is by far my favorite thing to do. Front lever pull-ups. And front lever in general, always been my fan favorite, or personal fan favorite. My personal favorite. Maybe it's because I've always been strong in it. I usually tend to be those things. Things you're really good at and the things you like, most likely the same thing. Oh yeah, I think that was pretty damn solid. Not the most explosive pull-up in the second one. First one was really good though. And from being still, maybe 1 or 2 seconds, just front lever hold and then dragging, huge difference. Back in the days I did do front lever pull-ups, but it would usually be when I just entered the front lever and I took some momentum from that entry, and then I was able to do the pull-up. But this level where I am right now, where I can be from a just normal hold with 0 momentum and then pull, that's a level I haven't been at for a long time. Maybe just a few months, or yeah, since Beast of the Bars roughly. Let's get a form check from the side and see if my legs are actually following my body pretty good as well. Sometimes what happens is that my body is a bit leaned upwards, so if you look from one angle it may look really good, but then from another one you can see that it's not clean form, or to some degree a bit cheating. So let you guys be the judge. If I perform a, what the fuck do you call it? Let's just say a valid front lever. I don't know the name right now. Maybe. Felt pretty good. Let's have a look and see if the feeling is what it actually is. I checked the front lever and it was good, especially the pulling part. The only thing that could be improved was the angle in my just normal front lever hold. It was a bit tilted downwards in my opinion, so just trying to get the hips slightly, I mean we're talking like 1 centimeter or something, and then of course the legs then maybe up 2 centimeters or something. Roughly. Otherwise, look pretty good. Let's move on. Time for some full planche press to 1-arm handstand. I give it 3 sets, and this is pretty much the same as the other workouts we've been doing. Except that I feel really powerful today, so I'm hoping for some clean reps. The press was pretty damn nice, but the one arm didn't feel the connection. Maybe it kicks in the other 2 sets. But the planche press, I'm pretty damn satisfied with. I checked my footage again, just to see the form. And it looks like my hip is a bit too much up. I'm not doing the PPT. So I'm gonna try to push, still have good protraction, but push the hips a bit more downwards to correct the form. Otherwise, pretty strong. Bit too serious. Ooh. The last part in the press was slow. Especially when I'm doing it live, it feels like it took 10 seconds just to get that last part, even though it didn't, but that's the feeling. And the one arm was slightly better. Still, some days are just a bit off. Today is one of these days with one arm. I feel really strong, but just not that good connection one arm. And it happens. Then tomorrow might be a day where it's extremely good. one arm has always been a bit like this. But my main focus now is actually the press. And since that one is pretty good, I'm satisfied. Let's do one more set. Last ones, the legs were a bit too low in the start. Let's try to change that. Oof. Might have been better. The one arm was definitely a bit better than the first ones. But still not too sure that the press is clean enough. My legs are pretty low when I start. Of course now I'm starting to get a bit more tired since I've done a few reps, but that's I think my weakness, to feel where I'm actually horizontal. But we always got things to work on. So that's gonna be also after competition, work even more on getting that connection. For me to know that, all right, now I'm straight, and that's where I can press from. Otherwise, pretty damn good. Let's move on to some resistance band training. Next up is one arm front lever. I will do 3 sets only on my right arm today, actually. It's a bit different what I usually do, but since in competition I will only use my right arm for the one arm front lever. It's more beneficial for me to only put that effort today. Then when I'm back to normal training routines, I will do both arms again, because then we have that symmetry. But for now, I will do 3 sets only on the right arm, get that connection, and get ready for comp. Felt pretty good. Let's do 2 more sets. Woo! Even added a competition transition. That sounded really good on the tongue. But in competition, I usually start off in normal front lever, then put the hand right here and sort of slide. Because at that point I can hold with this arm, a little bit in my own arm, and keep the connection in the core. And it's not until I'm actually here that it's only this arm that's taking all the pressure. Whereas if I were to go directly from here, this whole movement would be a bit more stressful on this arm and reduce my time that I can actually hold it. That's one key. And then also it looks pretty damn sick. I'm starting to get slightly tired. But it's good, we're done with the pulling exercises. It's time for some Maltese hold, and then we're actually finished for this workout. It was pretty decent. We did enough things. 4 different exercises, 2 push, 2 pull. I mean, nothing here is gonna nothing here really plays a major role for my performance in the competition this weekend. But it's always nice to have a good final workout. Let's do about 3 sets here as well. I think that's a good enough number. It is with a thinner resistance band today as well. Pretty high intensity, it's not helping a lot. We did check it last time, 8 kilograms of help at this stage right here, which is not a lot. Thereby, if I can hold it a few seconds, or let's say like this, if I can hold roughly 8 seconds, which I'm not able to do yet with this band, but if I were to be able to hold 8 seconds with this band, I most likely would be able to hold about 3 seconds without a band at all. This then of course means that at the stage where I am right now, I am not really capable of doing a straight bar Maltese and will not be able to perform it in competition, which is a bit sad. But this doesn't mean I'm not going to train it. Like if I train this grip, I'm gonna do this Maltese grip in competition, of course, on the P-bars. That one I've been doing for a while. But training this grip is gonna benefit me in this grip as well, if that makes sense. So therefore I'm still gonna do it, and after competition we're gonna keep fucking grinding this one. And maybe next competition, if that's in sometime in summer or towards the end of summer, I most likely will be able to do this grip as well, if I stay consistent. Not too bad. I do feel slightly tired in the Maltese today. Of course, we did do push session pretty recently. It was Saturday. That's 2 days ago, which is not that much of rest. But it doesn't feel painful or anything. It's just I'm not super powerful. But let's do 2 more sets. I think that's still gonna be beneficial. Oof. I think that was slightly better than the first one, which is progress. And even if I feel a bit tired, the connection feels good. I didn't check the last one, the form, but it feels like I'm pretty flat and the legs are in the right height. I might be talking shit right now, since I don't know, but it feels good either way. Let's check it, and hopefully my feeling is right. And by the way, my body was pretty straight. So let's do the same for this one. Bit short hold. And to be honest, I think I disappeared from the screen in the normal planche. But hopefully the angle for Maltese was pretty good, even if the hold was short. That was literally the last exercise I will do before competition. Not really true, but the last one that I will film. Now it's only a freestyle session left. I will most likely just land the combos I'm gonna do in comp. And if I land them, I will just call it a day, and that will be the last thing. Let's wrap it up with some flexing. Alrighty, there's a lot of background light today, so not the best lighting for flexing, but who cares? Probably can see something still. What should we start off with? Some double biceps. Pretty decent. And we have a tricep. Like I mentioned before, the best lighting for posing is when you have the light coming from the above, and then you have not too much from the behind. It can look really good if it's pretty dark actually. And then only you would be able to pop. You can put down the exposure a bit. Looks mad. That's a lot of, you know, fitness pose when people look absolutely brutal. The lighting is most likely pretty damn good. And if you look closely, there might be actually be even this like neon lights. It's extremely white light, so high Kelvin, towards maybe like 6,000 or something. That looks sick. There's a bit more yellow lighting, which can look good, but maybe not the best one for flexing purposes and just looking absolutely mental, which is pretty fun, because that's what you want to do when you actually flex. Just looks scary and almost too big. What should we do now? Some back. Still haven't really found the technique for this one, but it's getting better and better. I think that will be it for the flexing today. I am gonna take a walk after this, roughly 30 minutes, just to get some activation. And the same is gonna be on Wednesday. I will take just a 30-minute walk to get some extra steps that day, staying low. When it comes to diet as well, I will do a short vlog tomorrow, a bit more about food and everything before competition. But now I've been eating a lot of protein, and I'm gonna switch that more towards carbs, because when it's competition, we wanna have that energy. It's not necessarily about building at that time, it's just go ham with all the muscles you have and try to get as much energy as possible. But I'll talk more about that tomorrow. For now, hit that like and subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. Ciao, ciao!